Good morning. My name is Chief Strungblood. I am St. Vincent and the Grenadines Spirit of the Most Citizen. I am the diaspora, which is my people. It has been another beautiful day for a protest, and I enjoyed every moment of my protest. Let me first remind you the front of my sign says, I don't want the white man's money, the white man's woman, the white man's friendship, and or the white man's faith. And the reverse of my sign says, white man, why have you enslaved the African Americans, the Latinos, etc.? All in all, it was another beautiful protest, and I enjoyed every minute of my protest. And as you know, when I have protested, and when I update you as to what transpired while I protested, it is always my pleasure and my delight to bring to you something from the word of the Most High God. We are still in the book of Revelation, and we are now in Revelation chapter 13. And this will be our third lesson that is coming from Revelation chapter 13, and we are still in Revelation chapter 13, verse 2. This will give you an indication of the amount of information that is packed within the very opening book of Revelation chapter 13. It will not take up too much time if we just read over what we have read so far in Revelation chapter 13. And then we will go on to the explanation of the part that we are currently dealing with. And according to Revelation chapter 13, verse 1, John was standing on the sand of the sea, or on the seashore, and he saw a beast rise up out of the sea. That beast had 7 heads and 10 horns, and 10 crowns upon the horns, and the word and the name blasphemy was written upon the heads. And the beast was like unto a leopard, and his feet were like the feet of a bear, and his mouth the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave to him his power, his seat, and his great authority. My people, on, on Friday, we dealt a lot with what is the power of the devil. And let me reinforce here. We have already qualified that the dragon, according to Revelation chapter 12, verse 9, is that old serpent called Satan or the devil. And we have also qualified that the beast we are speaking about is the Caucasian nation. Not Rome, not Italy, not America, but the Caucasian nation. And we also qualify that the power of the Caucasian nation, that the power of the dragon, the beast, the devil, that he gives to the Caucasian nation is the ability to lie and practice deception and to deceive men to their own detriment. If you remember well, the devil was instrumental in deceiving 1/3 of the angels of heaven, and he caused 1/3 of those angels to be cast out of heaven and to become damned, and their punishment is when they will be burnt into a fire. Let us not forget that it was that same dragon, the devil, Satan, who deceived Adam and Eve into violating the law of the Most High. And in violating the law of the Most High, Adam and Eve became castaway. And today, we are paying the price for what Adam and Eve done. Billions upon billions of people over millenniums upon millenniums have paid a price and are continuing to pay the price. So we see here there is a relationship between Satan and the Caucasian nation, because we see not only do they have the same appearance, now we see Satan himself is gifting the Caucasian nation some particular gift. The first gift he gives to them is his power, which is the power of deception. And we have qualified this in Friday's lesson. We saw how the Caucasians have deceived the world. And we have concluded that everything we know about everything we learn from the Caucasian nation. And we have also concluded that everything that we learn from them Every day we are discovering, slowly but surely, they are all lies. So today we are going to deal with what is the seat of Satan that he gave to the Caucasians. On Wednesday, we are going to deal with the authority of Satan, the same authority that he gave to the Caucasian nation. And on Friday, I am going to tell you why Satan gave to the Caucasian nation his seat, his power, his seat, and his great authority, and why they look alike in prophecy. And I am going to explain this using the scriptures, particularly the Bible. So we know that Satan gave to the Caucasian nation his power, which is the ability to lie and deceive people to their own destruction, and his seat and his great authority. What is the seat of Satan? What we have to come to the conclusion is the seat of any authority is the authority or that which he has control over. For example, Charles of England is now the King of England. That means his seat is the throne that make him King of Israel. Sorry, he wished the King of England. So the question I am here to answer is, what is the seat of Satan? According to the Son of God, in John chapter 14, verse 30, and John 12:31, the Son of God is saying that Satan is the prince of this world. If Satan is the prince of this world, and the Most High God is the king of this world, the only one, the only being that supersedes Satan in power and authority on this earth is the Most High God himself. What the Most High Son is saying here, that even though I am more powerful than Satan, even though I was created before Satan and I am higher in rank than he is, there is no getting away from it. That he is the prince of this world. He is the one that has authority over this world. So when Satan gave to the Caucasian nation his seat, he gave to them the authority to be prince over this world, and therefore he has authority over everything that happens and transpires on this world. That is why the Caucasian nation controls all of these resources of this world. Now, on the African continent, every mineral that is known to man can be found there. But who controls all of the minerals on the African continent? The Caucasians. France, Germany, America, England, Spain, they all have a stake, and they control all of the minerals of Africa. We go to the Arab country in the Middle East. They are rich with crude oil. Who controls all the oil in the Arab countries? The Caucasians. Let me tell you something. The Caucasians have been getting billions and billions of barrels of oil every year from the Arab country for absolutely free. Let me tell you this, right? The dollar is supposed to be tied to the gold that you have in your reserve. A dollar is a legal tender or a promissory note that says, I am going to give you sometime later the equivalent of this dollar in gold. So when America spends a dollar, what they're saying to those people who they're purchasing from is that I have the equivalent of this money that I'm giving you in gold, and I am going to give you the gold in exchange of the dollar sometime later, ensuring that you have adequate value for the product that you give to me. Remember, If there is trouble in the American economy and their dollar is devalued, what happens to all of those nations that has billions upon billions of US dollars in the US banks and in banks around the world? You know what happens? They will lose the value of the commodity that they sold to America. It is not in their interest or in their country's economic interest to hold on to the dollar, because the dollar can lose its value tremendously and significantly at any time, putting every nation at a loss. But once you have the equivalent of the US dollar in gold, no matter what happens to the dollar, the value of gold always remain steady and stable. Gold has a consistent value. The rise and fall of the value of gold is very minimal. It is not as significant as the rise and fall in dollars. The activities in a country's economy vastly determine the strength of a dollar. Do you know why Muammar Gaddafi was killed? Why he was killed by the American government? Let me tell you why. For many, many decades, Libya have been selling oil to the United States of America. And they have accumulated so much money for their oil. Trillions upon trillions of dollars they have accumulated in US currency. And those currency was sitting in US bank. But there were no system in place where they can actually get the gold in return for the currency that they have accumulated. Muammar Gaddafi did realize that the American government owe him more gold than they have in the reserve, and they are not going to part with the gold in the reserve. For if they were to do a fair exchange, currency for gold, as is supposed to happen, the American gold reserve would have dwindled tremendously, leaving absolutely nothing in the reserve. So Muammar Gaddafi got together with several other major African states, and they said, this is what we're going to do. From this day forward, any trade we are going to partake in, those trade must be done in gold. We are going to make gold currencies. If we are going to make purchases from America or any country in Europe, we are going to make those purchases in gold. And if America or any country in Europe is going to purchase any commodity from us, they must also make those purchases in gold. If this were to happen, in less than 5 years, the American government and the European governments would have exhausted all of their resources in making purchases from Africa and from Libya. The American dollar, the pound, and the euro would have been of no value because they would not have any gold to back their currency. So what was the easiest way to deal with this new problem that threatened the economy of the United States of America and the economies of Europe? The solution was to kill Gaddafi. So America sent their troops into Libya and they murdered Gaddafi because Gaddafi's justifiable plan, which would benefit every country in the world who is willing to trade fairly, did not meet European standards and would have impacted the United States government and the European government negatively. So he had to die. It is in the same way of Africa. Anytime there is a president in any country of Africa that decide to look out for the interests of their people and their state, the American government, through the CIA, starts rebelling in those countries and have those presidents murdered under the guise of civil unrest. The Caucasian nation has an ironclad grip on the economies of all of the world. They have an ironclad grip on every nation. And when deception don't work, they are willing to use brute force to destroy anyone that stands in their way from obtaining and keeping the inheritance that was given to them by their father, the devil. Remember, like this video, share this video, leave a comment on this video. Let me know what are your thoughts on what you have discussed here. Like or subscribe wherever this and wherever you're watching from. And remember, my name is Chief Stronger. I am St. Vincent and the Grenadine Spirit of Most of the Diaspora Machismo.